And the market's making new highs, people. And the ECB yesterday, you know, European Central Bank, cut rates. All the stock markets are at an all-time high, making new all-time highs. And now there is talk that they're going to lower rates. I have never seen this before in my 30 plus year career. Okay. Why have I not seen this? You usually get rate cuts when you go in a recession because that's the gas that the Fed needs to put on to create economic activity to get us out of recession. Well, I think Wall Street and everybody and their uncle is believing or has believed, that's why the market is making new highs every single day, that the Fed has somehow, the verdict's not in yet, but somehow has managed this soft landing, which is another lingo for saying low inflation, good GDP, and low unemployment. So the Wall Street has bought it. Markets all again today making new all-time highs. So Wall Street is in. The risks are higher though now in case there is no soft landing. Am I a believer in the market soft landing? You guys need to study history on this, which I do quite often. Go back and see how many soft landings the Fed has been able to accomplish. You can count it in less than two fingers. So, but now, of course, every talking head on CNBC is coming out and saying, "Yeah, soft landing is done, right? We're here. It finally looks like okay." Well, we have a saying on Wall Street, right? Buy it on rumor, sell it on fact. Now that soft landing has been supposedly accomplished, why does the market keep going higher? But I mean, think about this. My concern is inflation actually is not dead. The numbers they're putting out are hocus pocus completely, right? And we're all experiencing that. We're all living. We're all buying things, and we're all seeing it. Uh, has anything since the pandemic that has gone up 20, 30, 40% that you're buying, has it gone back to where it was? No. That's why, by the way, the stocks are going up, because the stock market is almost an inflation hedge, because these companies that you deal with on a daily basis can raise prices on you guys, on the consumer, and they somehow never bring it back to where it used to be. And that's their additional profit margin. That's the earnings power. That's why the market keeps going higher, right? And I don't think it's about the soft landing. But the risk for all this is that inflation is not dead. We had the same situation happen in 1978. They called inflation dead, and then the second time inflation came around, absolutely wiped the market out. But is it going to be the same? I'm not sure. Again, I look at the trend. The trend is up. You don't need to pick tops. You don't question it. You just step toe in and out. So U.S. economic data points to a soft landing as the labor market and inflation gradually cool. Yes, correct. But then that's the government's inflation numbers. Do you guys believe it? Do you guys believe any of the numbers government puts out on unemployment and inflation? I don't, because you guys need to study it. I'm not against the government, but I do not believe a word these people say. But then, again, price takes precedent. Market is telling you something. Listen to the market. Market's always right. You have a price in front of you. There's a transaction happening at that price. That price is correct for that minute, for that millisecond anyway. Until recently, those two forces were holding back a soft landing narrative. Okay. And the U.S. seems on track for lower price growth without a recession. Okay. We're not in a recession, obviously, technically. Okay. But in your own lives, you may be in a recession because of inflation, because of high cost of living that you guys are experiencing in your cities. But Wall Street says no. Wall Street says the best and the brightest on Wall Street, such as David Kelly of JP Morgan, who I respect, obviously. He has a position that not too many people have. And he was talking about it the other day. He was like, but then all these cheerleaders that come after the fact, I go like, to me, soft landing is when the unemployment rate has basically hit its full employment level, which we hit at like 3.5%. And the inflation rate is gradually coming down, which according to the Fed, it is. With this Friday's job report, which came out today, We expect 30th consecutive month in which the unemployment rate is at or below 4. While today the unemployment rate came out, it was at 4, right? And the plane, he said the plane basically handled the inlet. The Fed has managed to soft land the plane or the economy, and we're off to the races. And there's even talk now that the Fed is going to cut rates. None of this is making sense to me. But then the book keeps getting changed. I have to learn. I have to adjust. I have to adapt. Why are we cutting rates when the market's at an all-time high? Fed never cuts rates when there is no trouble ahead. So if they do cut rates here, two things are going to happen. Inflation is going to come back. My opinion, again, this is not financial advice. This is my economic theory. Inflation will come back and rates will go up, and that's when the market's going to absolutely eat it. When is that going to happen? This year, next year? I don't know. But again, trend is your friend. Don't question it.